Johnny Sirpilla is the CEO of Encourage LLC, an entrepreneur and speaker who guides organizations on leadership development. In his new book, Life is Hard, But I'll Be Okay, The Power of Hope Emerging Through Pain and Learning to Live with Gratitude, he documents the struggles he and his wife Susan have while raising a family. The book centers on how to have faith in the darkest of times. Please welcome Johnny Sirpilla.
Johnny, hi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I love the title of your new book. It's a message we all need to hear, but before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about your faith journey.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I have to say first, thank you for your choir. The song is the perfect intro. We're not walking alone, and that's exactly what my book is about. My faith journey has been solid, ongoing my entire life. I was raised in faith, and we really found that faith was needed when life got really hard for us as we were trying to build a family.
Yeah.
And my book talks about the journey in our darkest times and how God helped us through those.
So what was the dark time that you guys were going through, and how did God help you?
My wife and I were committed to having a family, and that just wasn't happening. After years and years of trying, we became very pregnant with triplets, and God answered our prayers, and we had 2 sons and a daughter.
Whoa.
But unfortunately, Nicholas, Mary, and Peter all passed away shortly after they were born. And we were found ourselves in darkness and despair and infertile again, without children, and spending way too much time at a cemetery to try to be close to our kids. And what we really found over time was that our faith grew. We were never closer to Christ than we were in the time that they were alive. And we learned to rest and find gratitude in that time, as opposed to living with regret and sadness for their death.
It is amazing when we go through tough times. Some people have one experience and some people have the other. It seems like some people really struggle with or even lose their faith, whilst other people will grow in their faith, their trust in God, and their intimacy with others. But it seems like nobody ever just stays the same after a big event like that. What do you think the difference is?
I think the difference is number one, your faith in God. I think your desire, and we fought hard to cling to each other. Mm-hmm. Knowing the statistics of couples that lose a child and what happens to their marriage, we did not want to be one of those fatalities. And we just knew God had goodness in store for our lives. We prayed for Him, ultimately for God to send us the children that we were meant to raise. And we're just live in gratitude for our time with Nicholas, Mary, and Peter. You know, we always want more. We want more food, more love, more money, more relationships. And we had to learn to just be thankful for what we had. And those were ours for the 5 of us together. Yeah. And there was beauty in it. And God was right there with us. And then He blessed us through adoption and then amazing, difficult pregnancies that produced 2 more children. So we ended up with 3 children under the age of 4.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And that's what you mean by okay. It's even better than okay, but sometimes you just need to know when you're going through tough times that God will get you through it. And that's the title of your new book, Life is Hard, But I'll Be Okay. You have really practical advice, not just for people who have gone through a tough time, but I would say that any kind of leadership, building something, building a business and a ministry, building a nonprofit, building a family, anytime we're building or making, there's always going to be these really hard times we go through. And sometimes you feel like a lot of stress and pressure. Sometimes it's really nice to get a word from God or from a pastor or a mentor that says, you know, it's going to be okay. And not only okay, you're going to get to victory. Is this kind of where you're getting at with the title of your book?
It is. It really is. And Encourage, the name of my company, is from Thessalonians 5:11. So encourage one another and lift each other up, just as in fact you are doing. And when I read that verse and prayed on it, I thought, that's exactly what God has me doing, encouraging others. And as a leader, I call all leaders out there, whether it's in your home, in your business, in your church, in your volunteer work, wherever you are, there is an honor to lead.
Yeah.
And you really need to realize the impact that we have on each other, and not only each other in our workplace, but then also on the families of those that we interact with, because the energy we pour into people, positive or negative, they take home into their families.
What word of encouragement do you have for someone right now that is going through grief? There's a lot of heartache right now. People have lost others. There's some economic headwinds right now. What do you tell people when they're going through this period of winter?
First of all, that we all go through that. And this book was written to really provide hope for people during their darkest days and when life is really hard. And what I ask people to be mindful of is that there is beauty happening in the darkness. You need to look for it. You need to be open to it, to receive God's hand that he is extending out through others around us. And he is there, and he's serving us through others and other followers. And I ask you to just really look in those darkest times, because for us, after the funeral, in the years that followed in therapy, where we just felt this dark cloud over us and we couldn't get out from under it. And even in the other challenges, and there's many more that followed, our youngest son is lucky baby number 13. So that was the 13th child that came in and out of our lives in our journey to build a family. And so I ask you to look for the beauty in those darkest times, and I promise you they are there. Somewhere they are there, and that's through God's hand.
I love it. Johnny Sirpilla, thank you so much. Your book is called Life is Hard, but I'll Be Okay. I want to encourage people to get a copy of the book. It will inspire you, encourage you, especially if you're going through a tough time, and whatever it is you're going through, God will carry you through. Thank you, Johnny. We appreciate you. God bless you.
God bless you all as well. Thank you.